Under our constitutional framework, there are those sets of fundamental rights which extend to citizens of Pakistan, and there are those sets of fundamental rights which extend to all individuals irrespective of their citizenship status. This is made clear from the plain language of the Constitution. Where a right extends to a citizen, the Constitution expressly uses the word citizen. Where a right extends to all individuals, the Constitution expressly uses the word person. For instance, a right which extends to citizens includes Article 19A of the Constitution, which states that every citizen shall have the right to access information in all matters of public importance. The right to have access to information in matters of public importance extends exclusively to citizens of Pakistan. In contrast, there are numerous fundamental rights where the Constitution uses the word person, which clearly suggests that they extend to non-citizens as well. Some of these include the right to life and liberty, the right to a fair trial, safeguards from arbitrary arrest and detention. These are certain fundamental protections that the Constitution grants all individuals in Pakistan, including foreigners, refugees and asylum seekers. This has also been affirmed in a decision of the Supreme Court in the Al Jihad Trust case, where it was held that where the Constitution uses the word person in a fundamental right, those sets of fundamental rights extend to non-citizens as well. It is therefore wrong to state that foreigners are not granted fundamental rights under our Constitution. The caretaker government's decision to deport foreign nationals that it claims are illegally in Pakistan is couched in broad and all-encompassing language. It makes no distinction for those who are born in Pakistan and have a reasonable and legitimate claim to citizenship under our citizenship laws. It makes no distinction for those whose asylum applications are pending, and to forcefully deport individuals whose asylum applications are pending would be a violation of the principle of non-refoulement. The principle of non-refoulement prohibits states from sending anyone back to a country where they face a real risk of persecution or other human rights violations. This is premised on the basis that states have a duty and obligation to safeguard the human rights of all those in their jurisdiction, not just citizens. In a statement by the spokesperson for the United Nations High Commissioner on Human Rights, it was stated that many of those who could be deported to Afghanistan include journalists, civil rights activists, human rights defenders, women and former government officials who face a grave risk of human rights violations on return to Afghanistan. These human rights violations include arbitrary arrest and detention, torture, other cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment. Potentially genuine asylum seekers who face a serious threat to their fundamental freedoms could be deported. In a recent decision by the UK Supreme Court, the decision to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda was held to be unlawful. This was based on the fact that Rwanda was not regarded as a safe third country to send asylum seekers to, as asylum seekers could be returned to countries where they face a threat of violence or other ill treatment. And in Pakistan, the government has established various holding and detention centers for asylum seekers. In many reports, including one by Amnesty International, it has been stated that detainees in these detention centers are being denied their legal rights. They are not being allowed to communicate with counsel. They are not being allowed to meet with their families. Journalists and the media are not being given access to these holding and detention centers. There should not be this much secrecy and lack of transparency around these detention centers. Pakistan must adopt a more humane approach, and the government must ensure that all individuals, including non-citizens whose fundamental rights are guaranteed in the Constitution, are fully secured.